Hey, it's YattaMagnus here. Today I wanted to talk to you about an album. Now, the album of the week, we'll say. Why not? Sure. Album of the week Wednesdays or whatever. I guess this is going to come out on Thursdays. But anyways, the album I wanted to talk to you today about, I don't have a physical copy of, but it's Demon Days by the Gorillaz. Came out in 2005, so right out of high school. This album, it's the one that has Feel Good Inc. Everyone knows that song. So whether or not you've ever heard of the Gorillaz, you've heard this song. So whenever I listen to this album, it brings me back to my teenage days, hanging out with friends, cruising around in a Corsica or a Mirage maybe, and just cruising around buying spicy chicken sandwiches, junior bacon cheeseburgers, and listening to music. This is one of those albums that brings me back. And my oldest child, who is close to 15, yes, very close to 15, she recently got into the Gorillaz. She went and got a Gorillaz t-shirt and everything, and I just think it's really cool that she's listening to something I listened to when I was around the same age. Obviously, there was Gorillaz albums before Demon Days, so take that as you will. But anyways, the cool thing about this album, start to finish, it has a lot of songs that, again, go into the next song. It's less an album of hit songs as it is a experience to listen to the album Demon Days. So I'm going to officially say this week is Gorillaz Demon Days album of the week. So if you've never heard it, get on Apple Music, get on Spotify, get on whatever. If you have an old CD, bust out the CD. Whatever your music media of choice is, take care of it. Listen to it. It's really good. I listened to it this weekend for the first lawn mowing of the season. So I mowed front and back lawns, and it generally takes about the length of an album. So that's like the best time for me to listen to something pretty much uninterrupted, and just really appreciate it. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just focusing on going in a line with a lawnmower. And that's a great time to listen to an album and really just think about it, And besides Feel Good Inc., there's a lot of other really cool and underappreciated songs. If you know who the Gorillaz are and you like Demon Days, go listen to it again. If you've never heard of the Gorillaz, they're an animated band, kind of like Josie and the Pussycats or Metalocalypse. But yes, anyways, go listen to this album that this animated cartoon band has put out, Demon Days. Another cool thing, real quick, my daughter, who really likes this album and the Gorillaz, she has it in her sights to buy a record player, an LP vinyl player, because she wants to be cool. And I've never owned a record player. I used to play around with my grandmas back when I was a kid, and I had to spend summers out at their house. I would listen to like old Disney albums and, Big Bad Wolf. You turn the page when it makes the sounds and stuff, but it was on a record. So, and just a lot of old Disney albums, stuff like that. That's my experience with a record player, honestly. But I think it's really cool that she wants to get into physical media, because she doesn't own any music. Well, she has one CD. She has a 21 Pilots CD she got for her birthday a few years back. But she doesn't have any, besides that, she doesn't own any other music. She doesn't own any DVDs or movies. She doesn't own anything. It's like, what do you have? I don't know. It's all streaming. It's all on this account or that account digitally, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's really cool that she wants to start buying some of her favorites as physical media. And I kind of, in my older days, especially with how convenient it is to have your smartphone out, to make a playlist, boom, 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 Apple Music, woo, 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 you know, it's just so easy. And her getting into the idea of an LP or whatever, I'm excited to listen to it. And now if she owns a player, I can go buy, you know, Boston, for instance, and some Beatles albums. And, you know, people say that they definitely have a different sound to them, and I think so. Whether or not that sound is just a nostalgic thing, or whether it's like actually sounds better, you know, it might be up to a personal, person-to-person opinion type thing. But for me, I grew up listening to the radio with a tape in the tape player, and I would record when a song came on that I liked, and I would sometimes get the little chatter or miss the very beginning intro of the song, you know, but that's how you had to do it back in the day. And then when I was that a long time ago, and I would listen to them on my Walkman, listen to freaking Beach Boys. I had a Beach Boys tape, Endless Summer, and I used to just listen to it on my Walkman, but same with the radio stuff. And then when I was a teenager, burning CDs, I remember hearing, you can burn a CD? What do? You know, you put it in the toaster. What's a toaster? You know, crazy terminology from the 90s. But and then eventually it turned into big stacks of CDRs, and just you'd borrow a CD from your friend or from the library and you'd copy it and whatever. And then came the downloads, Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa, and once those hit, I went out and I bought a Rio Volt, which was a MP3/WMA player, and that's how I listened to my music. And you know, you'd burn a CD with just a data CD with all the files of the songs. And as soon as I hit that point, I kind of stopped collecting the physical CDs because I had no reason to. I'm like, you know, I can just get the music and have like, you know, 100 albums on a CD versus just one. One cool thing I did back in the day before I got into MP3s and whatever was I had a regular CD Discman, Sony Discman or whatever, and I got one album and then another album, and I ripped them on the computer, and I put the audio channel on the left side is this album, the audio channel on the right side is this album. And while I was in class in school, if I had this headphone in, I was listening to Led Zeppelin. If I had this headphone in, I was listening to Queen, you know. And I thought that was a pretty cool little workaround that I did back in the day, because I didn't want, I could have two albums on one CD, just left channel, right channel, left channel, right channel. But then I got into Rio Volt. Didn't need to consolidate CDs on these double, you know, left channel, right channel. If you put that in like a car stereo, that would be just absolute chaos. The other crappy thing about that is that it was all one track versus like 12 tracks, because I didn't want them interrupting each other. So, but yeah, the crazy things you'll do when you want to just listen to your tunes in school. But yeah, after the Rio Volt, I got an iPod Mini, iPod Nano, iPod Picture, photo, video, you know, and then it goes from there. Then it came iPod, blah blah, iPhone, streaming, blah, so much. And having access to every single song in the world on your freaking iPod is actually pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. Like it's a bit much. It's a bit much responsibility, you know. So I'm always constantly making playlists and stuff like that so that I can at least make it worth it. But it has kept me from buying any new music. You know, I think this Boston album, the remaster, might have been the last album that I bought, like a CD. But maybe it was the Beatles' Let It Be Naked. But I'm not sure. So, anyways, physical media, album of the week, Demon Days by the Gorillaz. Go listen to it. Leave a like, share, submit your own comment about what album you think should be an album of the week. If I think it's awesome, I'll listen. I'll listen to it. If I think it's awesome, I'll say it's the album of the week, and I'll name drop you and whatever, or not, or whatever. Or I'll just do this once a week or whenever I feel like it. So, yeah, Gorillaz. Go listen to Demon Days. It's great. Yeah, and thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. Peace. Oh.
Give me back my son!